All right, we're live.
Where
We're
are the
live.
comments? Here we go. We're live. We're live, and Bitcoin's fucking ripping, and we're going up, and we're all gonna fucking make it.
We're going to Valhalla.
Remember when I said when I finally capitulated on being bearish? I said you just got to be max long.
You know, that was kind of timely capitulation right at the end of a 8-month long range bound, like boredom fest. You were like, all right, that's it, I'm long, and then boom,
yep, basically
God candle.
And now I'm just gonna stay long and close my eyes. I mean, you know, if you've been long for a while and you've made a ton of money, maybe you should just clip some profits. But honestly, the next 4 years of our life, it's going to be pretty fucking fun, Jonah. I mean, you can just see the moment in the charts where crypto got legalized across the board.
Yeah, that just let me pause. Let me pause you right there. Let me pause you right there, and then you continue. Crypto is legal now. That's all I have to say. Don't overthink it. Crypto is legal now.
Yeah. So, as a side, as like a side thing, I got this tablet.
You're one of those people.
It's called Remarkable. It's like you write on it, and it's kind of like paper.
And I know what it is. My tenant who stole from me left one in my house, and then I sold it on eBay because I thought it was stupid to have to pay for something that's like paper, which is
but it's like useful because you get to keep all of your notes in one place. So what I get to do now is I get to go click around, and I get to go back to the notes that I took on the podcast where we discussed the Trump election, which is like all of them. And the number one thing that I kept saying, which by the way I did not do, but the number one thing I kept saying was that you should buy all the SEC coins. Like the moment that you think that Trump would be elected, you just buy all the SEC coins. And that was, I had Uni, Aave, and Lido, and they're all up infinite right now. Yeah. So that was great if you listened to my advice and you did that. You made a lot of money because basically right after, as like the odds went up, there's actually a delay. I mean,
look at Uniswap. Like, it's up like 35%.
It's just like boom, like straight up.
Avi, can we victory lap for a second? Remember all those people who kept telling us on Twitter that the election didn't matter that much or that this was a fade? This wasn't a fade. This was as real as we said it was going to be. So I do think we should pat ourselves on the back for that. Now, I think the real ballsy call was Trump winning, right? Like normally you're not supposed to bet on a coin flip like this with serious amounts of your capital. But I think for me, what made this a little bit more of a comfortable situation was the idea that pollsters cannot adjust for people who don't respond to their polls. Like that sort of there's sample bias in the people that won't respond to a poll, in that Trump voters are less likely to respond than non-Trump voters. So if you're a pollster, there's no way to adjust for that without committing malpractice, right? Like you could say, oh, in 2016, I was, my Trump estimate was too low by 7 points. In 2020, my Trump estimate was too low by 4 points. So this time I'll just do my poll and then adjust it up by like 4 to 7 points. Like you can't do that. That's malpractice. So to me, it was just like, given that there's literally no way for people to adjust for Trump polls, or for Trump's outperformance on polls, I'm just going to do it myself. I'm going to commit the sort of pollster malpractice that they can't commit. And that's what got me comfortable with being long crypto. But like, I don't know, there was a surprising amount of FUD out there on Twitter about how even if Trump won, it like wouldn't matter for crypto. And now like you can see the space is only beginning to rally. Like this is the beginning of, I think, a pretty solid trend. What do you think?
I agree with you. I think that we're going to be trending look, obviously there are always going to be ups and downs, but if you ask me where we are in 3 months, are you drinking wine right now? I should crack open a beer.
Yeah, dude, come on. Like I didn't have any champagne, so I just picked this bottle of wine. Get one. Go get one. I'll monologue or something.
I'm in Puerto Rico right now, and the only beer I have is like this shit tier beer called Medalla.
Do you think
it's like Bud Light but slightly better?
Go get it. Go get it. Seriously.
I'm gonna drink my Aquafina. I'm gonna be healthy so I can laser focus and make some fucking money in this market. This is a great day, Jonah.
This is,
I mean, just
I'm
like
so happy.
across the board, this is the most fun that I've had in a while. I basically
Same.
just like checked out up until the election, and now I can check back in and look at things.
I've been pretty checked in.
I mean, okay, I'll tell you one thing that I wish I had done, but I didn't do, and I did a little bit, but in bigger size. Is the Doge trade was so obvious. It was like so obvious to go long Doge versus ETH. You could have put that on in huge size. I actually still think that there's a really good trade for Doge. I mean, it came off.
It hasn't really gone that far. Like ETH is up 11% on the last 24 hours since the election.
No, but I'm
Doge is up 16.
Week.
Yeah, week.
So
week is, yeah.
Like here's you know, I wasn't like you. I didn't position aggressively before the election betting on a Trump win. Because to me, yeah, I didn't. I was like,
okay.
I was positioned aggressively, not because I thought 100% Trump was going to win, not because I looked at the data and I'm like, oh, I think Trump is going to win. I just thought that there would be there's like a very easy trade, right? Like if Trump wins and everything just giga rockets. And at the time that we had spoken, we had already come off a little bit from the highs. So I thought that so that was pricing in a little bit of a Kamala win. So I thought even if Kamala won, then I could get out of my trades, right? So for me, it wasn't like I'm going to go giga long because I'm confident that Trump's going to win. It was, I'm going to go super long because there's good asymmetry. And what that means is that the concept that I had of like giga long wasn't probably long enough. But what happened on that night is when the Florida results came in and Trump outperformed in Miami-Dade and just crushed it. It was like, all right, in my mind, it was over at that point.
That's what did it for you. So that's when you bought. Where was Bitcoin trading at that point?
It was just broke. I think it was just above 70-ish. I bought. I mean, I like double. I'll tell you, I doubled down on Aave at 144, and I doubled down on Doge at 18 cents. Those were the levels that I cared about. And I think that what ended up happening, I mean,
Aave, we called that, we called Aave on the pod. Like we've talked about this
multiple times.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. This is really good, not just because Trump won, but because a lot of very pro crypto candidates won. Like across the board, the crypto candidates did well. And what we're looking at right now is we're looking at the embrace of crypto.
Yeah.
By our political system. We're looking at a non-zero chance that a strategic reserve of Bitcoin is created over the next 4 years. I peg it
by the way, let me just put it out there. If a strategic Bitcoin reserve is created, $1 million a token. Like every country is going to create one. Like it's going to be like lemmings following America into that sort of mentality. It's going to replace gold, basically, on central banks' balance sheets. $1 million a token.
It's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah,
we're going to win so bigly, like you won't even know what to do with yourself.
I mean, Brian Armstrong tweeted this. Even if that doesn't happen, Brian Armstrong tweeted, "Welcome to the new members of America's most pro-crypto Congress ever. 219 pro-crypto candidates and counting have now been elected to the House and Senate." Like, Avi, dude, we have been in an industry that has like, okay, fine, you know, we've made some money in it and that's great. But like people have vilified us for being in this. Like it's considered a disgusting gambling habit, not even a hobby. It's a habit. But now it's becoming legitimate because this is economic freedom for people. This is like the internet of value. This is obviously better technology than existing payment rails. All of the disruptions that this technology has created via Bitcoin are now being embraced by the mainstream. And sure, there's no like tangible application for that yet because these things take time, but markets price the future. So like, I don't think it's too early to get excited about this. Like, I really think you need to start buying now. I'm starting to get friends reaching out to me like, hey, I bought my first Bitcoin. What do you think? Like, I want to accumulate a stash. Even my hardcore Kamala supporter friends are like, yo, I think Trump's going to like maybe turn America into 1930s Third Reich Germany. Like, if I wanted to get all my money into Bitcoin to move it out of here, like even those kinds of conversations are happening. So I think most people have been black-pilled on Bitcoin, and it's kind of important to
I agree.
to price the
100%,
future.
I 100% agree with you. Bitcoin is obviously a huge winner, but everything is going to be a huge winner, and this isn't getting priced in fast enough.
Yeah.
And
so are you calling for alt season, Avi? Like, are you calling for it?
It's already alt season. I mean, we're going to be in a dynamic over the next, and alt seasons. I do want to say
alt. Is ETH an alt?
So there are two things I want to say here.
Yeah.
One is I like ETH now. For a short period of time, I think ETH can do well, and the main reason is that I think that what you're seeing right now is there's going to be no hesitation of people coming into very little hesitation when it comes to allocators right now. People are going to just start allocating, and people are going to buy ETH because it exists, and it exists in the form of an ETF, and it's easy to buy. And so there are going to be people that can't buy anything that doesn't trade on the stock market, and then they're going to buy the ETH ETF. It's trading at a premium today for the first time in a very long time. So, and ETH beta coins, I think, is true. Lido, Eigen, Aave, these things are going to do well because now they can operate in a regulatory friendly environment. So now you're not worried about the overhang, right? And it's invigorating, right? There's a sense of momentum now that people are going to work harder on building good products. People are going to be more interested in using crypto and using DeFi. Somebody said ENA as well. Yeah, I mean, basically, the issue is, guys, no matter what you type in that chat, the answer is probably it's going up at this point. Like you can type basically anything there. You can say ENA, Lido, Eigen, Aave, Doge, whatever it is, because of the capital flows that are about to come in. And
so don't churn too much.
Yeah, even USDT is going to go up, guys. USDT is going to hit $2, right? Like I think my target for USDC is 10. It's going to because some idiot's going to come in and buy.
Wait, are you joking or are you talking? Yeah, okay. For a second, I was like, hang on, I'm the one drinking here. Like, what was that?
Winners, average winners. Look, guys, what you have to understand is that we are a small group of people. We are a small little circle in the world. We can all agree with each other and still be right. That's what happened in 2021. Shit just went up in a straight line, and everyone was bullish for an extended period of time because there was new money coming in. I think new money is about to come. Now, remember this. Now, please remember this. Alt seasons only last like 3 weeks. I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
So treat it like a meme coin, basically.
Like alt seasons only last like 3 to 5 weeks. Because what ends up happening is that they just go up so unfathomably high that they just overprice themselves immediately. And so if Dogecoin trades 65 cents in the next 3 weeks, that doesn't mean it's going to $1.80. That probably means you want to sell. Now, that's just my take. They just tend to not last. I mean, even Bitcoin, right? Like you look at Bitcoin price appreciation, it all happens really fast.
I think we're in like the second inning of one of those parabolic moves. One of those.
But like it all happens really fast, and then everyone revises their price targets higher. Like Bitcoin will go to 120, and then everyone will call for 250, and then 120 will be the top. Yeah. Right? Like that's just like how it works almost every time.
Maybe that's like the 1000x podcast heuristic. It's like when the market's just rallied a lot, and the average pundit on Twitter is calling for a 2 to 5xing from there, you're supposed to take some off.
Yeah, you're so like.
But the market hasn't rallied a lot yet. It went from 70 to 76.
No, basically what I'm saying is right now
on a massive paradigm shift. Yeah.
People keep saying that I don't sleep. Now, I just want to like set put this to bed, guys. I sleep like a solid 5-6 hours a night. Like this is come on, like that's fine. I sleep. the rest of the time, who knows what I'm doing? But I do sleep. But thank you guys for caring. Do I have any concerns about an FOMC putting a halt to this run?
No. We're not talking about the Fed right now. We're still talking about the political. We'll get to the FOMC. Let's talk about the political implications of this. Like,
let's talk about how to make money.
Yeah, I've got a few ideas.
I think this is a key. Now, I mean, not to like give out specific items, but I do think that like Sol meme coins are just going to continue to rip really hard. I do think that there's going to be a pretty tremendous amount of capital allocation to these things, and I also think that what we're looking at right now is we're looking at a revival of the stuff that was kind of hated for a bit, right? Like if you look at DeFi,
like Eigen,
like a lot of the things that were like heavily shorted, I think are gonna rip because basically nobody wants to be short in this environment, and that brings me to why I think ETH BTC is going to do well. I think that everyone uses ETH as a hedge, and so a 20% ETH BTC move is not off the table. In fact, I think it's probably likely that in the next 3 weeks ETH BTC moves up 15 to 20%. That would be, sorry if I'm wrong, but this is my take. Crypto stocks.
Can I pause before we get to crypto stocks and just comment on what you just said? I agree with everything. I think ETH BTC might pop, but I think we should be looking at Sol BTC. I don't think there's anything on ETH that you want to do with your ETH right now. Whereas on Solana, there's all, as a crypto native, as a degenerate gambler, there's all kinds of opportunity inside of Solana. So unless you think that there's going to be a major catalyst that drops for ETH in the next 2 months, where like BlackRock just straight up announces that they're going to be deploying some insane, they're migrating their back office solution, Aladdin, to Ethereum, and all of Wall Street's going to be using it to settle index trades. Like that seems unlikely to me. I wouldn't want to bet on ETH going up, even if they did say that. I think that Sol ETH is going to outperform, which means that everything you just said about ETH BTC is true, but you will make more money if instead of buying ETH BTC, you buy Sol BTC. And also you will have Solana bags to go and mess around with meme coins when you want to. Whereas there's absolutely not like you're not going to go buy an NFT right now, are you? There's too much opportunity to lock your dough up like that.
I'm telling you right now, I think that Sol ETH is topped.
Oh, okay.
For the next 3 weeks.
For the next 3 weeks. Because honestly, Sol ETH was like, I was a big Solana hater. I started, you convinced me to start rotating some ETH into Solana. And then I tweeted something out, like, I think it was a month or two ago, where that was basically the end of my rotation, where I was just like, most of what used to be ETH is now in Solana. Less a CryptoPunk, of course. And I'm very happy with that trade. And I was expecting I'm kind of hoping to ride this for at least 6 to 12 months. So you're bearish. You think it's topped for 3 weeks, but what do you think on a longer time frame? Because Solana to me is like the alt of this what I perceive to be the next big parabolic run.
I still think over the next year, sure. You're probably gonna you're probably gonna see Solana outperform. Yeah. With that being said, I'm bullish ETH because as you get really it's three pieces. One is that everyone used ETH as a short leg and nobody wants to be short crypto right now. So that's all gonna unwind. The second is I think that this brings in new allocation into crypto, especially from TradFi people who are going to either one, allocate to ETH as part of a portfolio, or two, what they're good, because the reason that you didn't see a ton of that, in my personal opinion, prior in the ETFs is because a lot of the ETF flow was coming from people that were betting on the election, like it was traders, and they were using BTC to trade. I think what we're going to see over the next few weeks is we're actually going to see long-term allocations come in as people make a strong bet on the future of crypto, and that's going to include ETH as part of the portfolio.
I see what you mean.
And then the third is that it's a momentum thing. I'll paint it like this: ETH-BTC is the lowest it's been in years, 3 years, I think. And
it's not like
you don't,
flatlining here. It's trending lower. Like you're talking
yeah.
about catching a falling knife.
And so if you get a strong reversal in a bullish market like this, people are going to hop on that momentum, and it's going to lead to that. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy until people again realize that ETH is not probably going to be used a ton, and then it comes back in. But that's good. I mean, a 25% move, which is what I'd be looking for. If we can get above 0.4, maybe 0.45 on ETH-BTC, like I'm out.
I see what you mean.
But,
so basically, you're in it for like
a
a short covering trade. I think that's a really good idea. Now, I kind of have a new framework for evaluating alt L1s. I guess you could call ETH and Solana L1s at this point. So my framework for evaluating L1s, I've been spending a lot of time on this. I used to just think like, okay, fat protocol thesis, like ETH plus L2s are an ecosystem, Solana is an ecosystem. Where's the dough going to go? If it goes to Polygon or Base, it doesn't matter. That's all value accrued to ETH. What I'm realizing is that what really drives token pricing is how big of a wallet are you going to maintain in the ecosystem in order to facilitate what you want to do? And to me, the reason why Solana has pumped so much and outperformed ETH so much is because in order to have fun with Solana and use Solana for what Solana is good for right now requires you having, thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars of, Solana on that chain so that you can like quickly rotate it into and out of meme coins, which are ultimately like kind of trades, right? They're not investments. For ETH, you kind of during 2021, you had that like big money rationale when people were buying Fidenzas and rocks and CryptoPunks and stuff. But like, if the whole like ETH is back office, ETH is the global settlement layer thesis is true, yes, that's bullish ETH. But what does it mean like realistically? It means that institutions will probably just need to have gas fees available to settle stuff on, well, let's call it spade a spade. Like they got to settle stuff on Base, right? So maybe is there like are people going to be settling massive amounts of microtransactions on the mainnet? No. So if you're just trying to like hold some bags to pay for gas, Base is pretty cheap. Like I think it might even be cheaper per transaction than Solana. So you don't need to hold a big wallet. I don't think there's like high value. I don't think there's anything going on inside of ETH that's going to require new people to come into the ecosystem and acquire tons of ETH in order to do what they want to do on ETH. Whereas for Solana, because I think this meme coin thing is just the beginning of like basically disrupting the total addressable market of the global lottery system. Like I think, among other applications, I think honestly, like Solana is probably the better play for an L1 over the course of the next, again, longer term, medium to long term.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think we disagree. I think this is just a question of a question of time frames. Now,
I was just pontificating. I agree with you on the short term.
Okay, and like not to debate like L1s because I think that both are going to go up. It's just a matter of this is the type of market where it's about maximizing, right, and also not getting shaken out. Yeah, it's kind of what I was saying earlier. Like you can probably like if I go to my list of things that I look at and I ask what's going to be up in the next, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, I think the answer is basically everything. And so the question is like, what is going to be up the most? And that's really what we're trying to figure out right
now. I've started messing with leverage for the first time in my like kind of PA. Like I'm using mild leverage on Bitcoin just because I think that Bitcoin's going to have the best Sharp in crypto. So I feel comfortable levering up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I've been breaking my rule. I thought I was max long like 6 times already, and I just keep getting longer because the price goes up, and I keep getting longer because I add more fiat into this and get more convicted, and then I get longer because I decide to use some leverage. Like I'm just getting increasingly degenerate with this because at this point I really do think we are going to take off, and I've thought that since before the election because of my view about how polling is done. So I don't really see why this rally would stop. I don't. Well,
There
I
really
don't.
only two reasons. One, the first reason why the rally stops is people get over their skis, right? So you see funding rates roof for a week. You see people chasing random shit. Multiple days of having altcoins and memes trade more in volume than their market cap, probably a good sign to start taking some profit off the table. And also very likely what you're gonna see in close to the top is you're gonna see things like go 100x, like new launches are gonna start coming out. People are gonna start creating coins again, and these things are gonna go 100x really quickly. And then you probably want to say, okay, let me get some money off the table. Now,
Nashty brings up a good point. If the missiles start flying, that could be an unexpected retracement. And I don't know. I think we should probably do an oil corner at some point in this podcast, as euphoric as we are, because this election means big stuff for geopolitics and macro, and it could cause some turbulence for our sector and Bitcoin. So we should talk about that too. But
dude, I genuinely, I don't think Iran's going to do shit now. Now that Trump's in, they're going to be way too scared to get hit back really hard.
Yeah, but but Israel is empowered, right? So if Bibi takes out Karg Island or a couple of refineries or something, oil's gonna do something, and I think that could create a little bit of like I wouldn't fade. I wouldn't anticipate a risk off move by selling my Bitcoin or selling my stocks here. But I'm just saying, like, you don't want to get too levered because there's going to be volatility to the upside.
Have you? I maybe. I think. I mean, like oil better than most. If Iran's oil gets taken out tomorrow, and price spikes, there's a ton of excess production available. Like people can, it's not like we're running up against the limits of the amount of oil that can be produced. Saudi can just start pumping more.
That's right. Yeah, Iran's entire production could get plugged in by Saudi. However, if their entire production gets taken out, they could shut the Straits of Hormuz, and 30% of the world's oil flows through that strait. And they would. They like if their entire production was taken out and they were an animal backed into a corner, they export 1.6. They produce more because they consume it domestically. They export 1.6. Saudi plus the others have like 2 to 3 million barrels of spare capacity. So Iran's production is not an issue. But if Iran prevents everybody else, including Iraq, Qatar, like Saudi Arabia, from exporting oil, and suddenly the world is short 30 million barrels a day of oil instead of 1.6 million, then the entire economy collapses, right? So that's probably not going to happen. But if there's even a 5% chance of it happening, which is kind of on the table if Israel takes out Karg Island, which they like stated they kind of are interested in doing, then you're gonna see volatility. And so don't get too levered is my point. Like the last thing you want if you're a crypto trader, and just like hear me out, the last thing you want is to be like 5 to 10 times levered. There's some like geopolitical volatility that leads to Bitcoin volatility. You get liquidated, and then the market just goes like fucking melts upwards and 5x's, and you can't participate because you've lost all your money. So don't do that, right? So I'm like mild leverage is appropriate, I think.
Yeah, look, I'm not as concerned about these geopolitical shocks as you are, right? I'm in terms of what's going to stop this rally. I'm 95% sure that it's going to be people getting ahead of themselves and like really adding on a ton of leverage, right? And then that what ends up happening there is that people see that, they go, okay, time to cut my positions. Market gets flooded with supply, you get a ton of liquidations, and that kind of crushes the momentum, right?
Not a lot of leverage
That's
yet per Velo data,
no,
our favorite.
nothing.
Yeah.
I actually I love this comment. Is Avi on Adderall or Coke or both? I'm on green candle P&L.
Oh my God. Dude, how good does today feel? Like
I love the fact that green
oh,
P&L and a good day can make it seem like you're on stimulants. I didn't even have coffee today.
really?
No.
I've been up since like 4 in the morning following this. And yes, I'm feeling very good. I had a coffee though.
Yeah, I mean, look, my view right now is nothing is ever going to go up in a straight line. And so the reason I don't like leverage is because who knows? If we trade 72K from here, I want to be able to add. I don't want to be nursing my wounds, right? Because I know that the issue with leverage, in my personal opinion, is that it makes trading too path dependent, right? You can be right on a 1 month time horizon, but if you're levered and you're wrong for 3 days and it goes down a lot, you might panic. You might cut your positions. You might be taking too much of a hit. And so then you actually take yourself out of the game, right? And so that's why I don't love using leverage in these particular types of scenarios, where I tend to only use leverage when I think things have really collapsed. Like I use leverage in an FTX type scenario. I use leverage when there's a tremendous amount of liquidations and I'm using leverage for a very short time period, right? And because I want to use leverage to catch a mean reversion. Anyway, long story short, I forgot my train of thought. This is a great market environment, not just for crypto, for everything. And why? Because what a lot of people don't recognize is that one of the reasons that the economy did so well in 2016 to 2020 is because Trump, when he comes in, one of the first things that he does is he cuts a ton of regulations and he allows businesses to make more money.
cuts taxes for business too. Like that makes
I think regulations are actually even more important than tax cuts.
And right? Regulations have been a killer for crypto in particular. Like obviously it hits oil, it hits banking, it hits everything. But like for crypto, you know, we were at permissionless. The people there, they can't even build like what they want to build because they're going to be stuck in court for 5 years. The whole industry is like on pause.
And that is, in my personal opinion, the single worst thing about regulations is that it stifles innovation. Why? Because if you're building something in crypto, you don't know if what you're building is going to land you in jail, like you said. So you just end up not building anything. You just go, okay, I don't want to touch too much. You know, we kind of have this product right now. I'm not going to be too, innovative. I'm not going to do anything too crazy, because what if I do this crazy cool thing and the SEC comes after me, or the government comes after me, or I don't want to deal with it. And so what it does is it stifles innovation, because you're not even in the mind frame to think about it, right? You have.
It's not just building; it's trading too. Like we're not allowed to trade perps in America. You're not allowed to create a crypto trading company in America. Part of the reason why these massive basis arbs exist is because most legitimate TradFi companies can't just like buy spot and sell futures because they're worried they're going to get taken out by the SEC. All of that's over. Like Gensler's going to get fired on day one. It's over. Like it's literally, this is a paradigm shift. The Donald Trump ran on a hashtag pump your bags platform. And, he, at least last time, he kind of followed through on some of his promises. It would be weird if he suddenly just decided to go anti-crypto at this point. Like we basically have to bet. So I'm a little different than you. It's good on you to pick bottoms with leverage. That's a very dangerous game. For me, this is kind of my first time using decent leverage in crypto. Usually I use it in commodities, but when I use leverage, it's to express a view when I think that the underlying asset is going to perform very smoothly with a high Sharpe and low volatility. And I think that Bitcoin fits that description right now. Like, I think that, sure, you can probably get higher absolute returns investing in Doge or investing in something else, being very active, paying short-term capital gains tax. But if you just want to sit on your hands and hold something for a year, the absolute best, like, P&L per unit of volatility return, your best Sharpe ratio is going to be in Bitcoin. I don't think they're going to be very big drawdowns at this point. And so I think it's okay to lever up a little bit now. Like, I think we should all feel like we have permission to expect the market to rally gradually or even rapidly and steadily, primarily because this new regulatory paradigm and this new set of, congressional members is kind of going to attempt to create for crypto what just hasn't existed. And there's so much potential under the surface, Avi. Like, there's so much value to be unlocked here. Also, like, I remember you said something very powerful that resonated with me when we first started doing our podcast. You said, I've been in crypto since, I think it was 2017 or 16. You said like, I've been told that crypto is a scam every single year except 2021. And then in 2022, you were told it was a scam again. I've experienced the same. I've either been in crypto and been told that I'm working on a scam, or been kind of on the outside looking in, thinking it's a scam for every single year except 2021. And for the very first time since 2021, it feels like crypto's not a scam anymore. It feels like crypto will be accepted by the broader community as something legitimate because the United States will kind of bless it, right? And I think that more than anything is a big deal.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. This is probably the first time that crypto is going to be considered not a scam, and it's not going to mark like a crazy top.
Yeah,
because it's really like we've reached the point now where the sitting president of the United States of America has hinted at creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve, has spoken at Bitcoin conferences, went to a Bitcoin bar, has made a transaction with Bitcoin,
launched a DeFi project.
Launched a DeFi project. I mean, guys, this is unbelievable. In 2017, I remember seeing Bitcoin on the front page of the Wall Street Journal and thinking to myself, oh my God, we've made it. Because it was on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. In 2035, you're right, Sky Jones. Maybe we do have a strategic Mudang reserve. Maybe we do. It's possible. It's not improbable even. It's very improbable, but but that was fun to say. Look.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk for a second about what a strategic Bitcoin reserve would mean. Just like, let me quickly explain this. Again, I love commodities. Bitcoin is a commodity. A strategic reserve for an asset is important because it serves more than just a monetary purpose. It's not just meant to pump the price. It's meant in case of emergency. And if Donald Trump follows through on this promise to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve, it basically lends credence to the idea that Bitcoin is non-sovereign, global reserve currency grade money of the same caliber as gold. And that in an emergency where, God forbid, the dollar is degraded, or God forbid, our trading partners no longer want to use the dollar, we as a nation do not lose our sort of potency. We don't lose our international clout. We have something that we can fall back upon, similar to, a military scenario where, God forbid, like the Middle East doesn't want to ship us any oil anymore. We have this ocean of oil sitting in caverns and storage tanks that we can use to fuel our planes and tanks and missiles. So, like, it basically, if this happens, it says that Bitcoin should eat market share from the dollar, the euro, the pound, the yen, the won. And at that point, like, if we're talking about like the things you can count on one hand that send Bitcoin to $1 million a token immediately, it's like Bitcoin becomes a global reserve currency. Like hydrocarbons get transacted in Bitcoin like $1 million a token overnight. And so on sentiment alone, it should go there. That's why I think it's so important. And it's like it went from like a 5 delta to a or like a 1 delta to a 50 delta in the last 8 months, 6 months.
It's genuinely unbelievable. And man, this is just so much fun. I'm not gonna lie. Like this is just so much fun to imagine a scenario where that happens. I mean, look, Bitcoin, we all know what the benefits of this thing are, right? This is what it was destined to be if it was going to work. This is kind of how it had to go, right?
Yeah.
And so when I look at what's actually been accomplished, it kind of feels like a simulation sometimes, because everything just worked out kind of perfectly for Bitcoin. And what I think is very likely to happen over the next 4 years is, if there's even a hint that we're taking this strategic reserve seriously, if there's even a hint, other countries are going to move on it. It's not just going to be, the United States is actually, in my opinion, if it does get established, if the strategic reserve actually gets established, the United States is unlikely to be the first, because what's going to happen is that other countries are going to see that the United States is doing it, they can move more quickly, and then they will do it.
Yeah.
Right. And so the way that I view this is, by the time the United States announces it, it's like a continuation of a trend, and that's going to be that's just going to be next level and incredible. And so, yeah, the game theory, exactly. It's so favorable towards BTC. Like you kind of, there's very little downside to starting it for a smaller country if you have like a 25% chance in your mind that the US is gonna start it, because also it's like you adopting it and your friends adopting it is going to make it more likely for the US to adopt it, right? It's like, oh,
yeah,
right. It's like it's literally one big Ponzi that's going to last.
Yeah, it's the ultimate meme coin. So like maybe what you do is you have like 50 to 80% of your portfolio in Bitcoin until it hits 100K, and then you scale out as it gets there. And then what you do with the proceeds is like you have some in Solana, some in Ethereum, some in meme coins, and then I really like your thesis about how these SEC lawsuit coins are going to pump. Like they've already pumped a lot, but they're coming off of some pretty abysmal lows. Imagine if Trump shows up on day one, pardons Ross Ulbricht, then suddenly just like installs a new SEC chairman within the first 6 months. The new SEC chairman immediately ends the lawsuits against Uniswap, Coinbase, Cumberland, like name your company that they've just gone and sued. Like all these lawsuits are just a complete waste of taxpayer money. Hundreds of millions of dollars are getting paid out to lawyers in Washington, D.C. for absolutely no reason. Like as soon as the market catches on to the fact that that's literally about to happen, I think all of these coins are going up another 300%, right? XRP even, like I do, like it does definitely feel like we could be in for one of those like nonsensical crypto rallies in some of these coins that have been beaten down for SEC reasons. Now, obviously, you're gonna, like, to your point, you're gonna want to get out. Like you're not going to want to sit in those things when they have like, $50 billion valuations, but for a trade, those might be great pumps to ride.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be a time where you just kind of need to stare at your screens, stare at Dex Screener, take in all the right information, be in the right group chats, discuss with people, just kind of sit in front of your computer and do nothing other than stare at the markets, because you can make millions and millions of dollars.
How much of your trading capital is on chain versus on a centralized exchange? This is something that I'm not really good at yet. Like I have most of it on a centralized exchange right now because I'm not meme coining.
Yeah, it's kind of like I just have like a slightly different situation where most of my capital is on exchanges, like trading it. But I have like a non-trivial portion of that capital on chain as well. Probably about 15%, because the way that I have, on chain, and that actually grew from that actually grew substantially because of Geeko. So I aped a lot of Geeko, and that's done nicely. And I also, yeah. Anyway, so that was good.
I aped
Um,
Geeko and then sold it
but
for a 20% loss because I was like, this one doesn't resonate with me. Good job holding on to it.
yeah, I mean that was. I still think that's like $1 billion coin, but yeah, I'm also kind of delusional. And
You're
I've had
also
enough.
Asian, right? It's just something you can relate to more than me.
Kind of, not
Yeah.
really. Not. I'm not that kind of Asian.
Yeah, fair
But
enough.
anyway, it's it's they're the way that I view on chain for me is that I use it just to ape like really small cat meme coins and then just hold them and forget about them for a long period of time. And then hopefully they do really well. That's my on chain strategy, which is very different from a lot of people's on chain strategy, where like people will actively trade on on things like Hyperliquid, DYDX. Like people will have like a substantial portion of the trading stack on, like on chain. Uh, and people will also be running different types of strategies on chain. They might even buy, they might even trade ETH on chain. For example, like a thing like Nero that has done very well today. A lot of people might have bought that on chain. So, but my wallets are almost exclusively uh, for just things under like 50 million market cap.
Okay. So basically you're in it to like invest in it's like a perverse VC style investing casino thing that you have going on. You're basically just buying low market cap coins and then recycling gains into new low market cap coins on chain. And then on centralized exchanges, you're doing what I'm doing, which is basically like, okay, the opportunity is here, invest. All right, this thing's looking toppy. Move into something with higher opportunity. And if I can't think of anything, like rotate it all back into Bitcoin. Because
Yeah,
literally,
one
like, do
thing.
not have $1 in fiat right now of your crypto allocation. This is just too
Yeah,
good.
well, one thing that I'll say is that I think it's like really easy to lose money when your money is everywhere, and that's why I don't love on chain. In terms
That,
of
just
like
repeat
you
that.
like
Everybody needs to hear what you just said. That is so true. I'm gonna
it's
take it. It is really
it's
easy.
really easy to lose money when your money is everywhere because
Preach.
there's just like a lot of mental friction. Like for example, if you use Robinhood and Fidelity and Coinbase and like you have 13 wallets and some is on Solana and like some is on this chain and that chain, like you just end up forgetting about things and you end up
Yeah.
not managing all of your trades effectively. And like everyone but the few most disciplined people on the planet that like go check everything every day and like monitor everything every day, you just end up forgetting about things and missing opportunities and losing money.
That's
And
what I
so,
do. I check everything every day and I maintain a Google spreadsheet and update the parts of it manually that I can't update automatically. And that's like I
but like
read
that
every
takes,
single email and Telegram message that I get. Like I'm one of those people. I'm OCD basically. I'm OCD.
yeah, but like most people don't do that. And like even like the highly disciplined people, like I will forget. Like I did it last cycle because I probably own like 350 coins and it was like really hard to keep up on things. So, it's like, focus, right? Just keep things focused. And during bull markets, it's very easy to feel like you're keeping things focused, and then after like 2 weeks, you kind of just, because your friend messages you this, so you buy that thing, and then you read about this, and then you go buy that thing, and then you have to go to this chain, and you have to go to that chain. It's like, just be focused, right?
Yeah.
Try not to spread yourself out too much. Um, or if you do spread yourself out, like just remember that unless you're very diligent, you're going to end up losing money.
There's no point of spreading yourself out unless literally you're running a portfolio of like VC style bets. Like if you're just like holding a bunch of call options or throwing spaghetti at the wall or pick your analogy, then it's okay to have a bunch of different tokens. But I think once you're past 100 to 200 million market cap, you should not have more than 10 coins.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I don't know. Is there anything anything that the crowd wants to ask us? Like, what else is going on? Talk about Peanut, dude. I do.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I love Peanut. I think Peanut. I think Peanut is like the perfect combination of political meme, animal meme.
I love Peanut.
Like everything. Like I think it's just perfect. I actually do not own any. I need to.
Me neither. I think it's a great meme. I feel a little too like Peanut and Goat are my two favorites right now. I think I can totally resonate with them. Goat just ripped again. Yeah, this is why you want to have capital on chain. Like if I had a bunch of Geeko, which I don't, I would be selling some to buy Peanut and Goat. Here's what I like. You know, honestly, I'm a lifelong Democrat who obviously got a little bit red pilled through the crypto world. One thing that I love about this Trump win, and since we're talking about Peanut, I feel like I can bring this up. If you're in crypto, if you're a crypto trader, doesn't it feel like you've been a little bit gaslit for the last 4 years? Like you're participating in some underground terrorist economy of grifters and crime? Like that's what everybody's sort of branded our industry as. And now that it's not that anymore, I think just that alone will bring in investment. And I think that some of the memes like Peanut are kind of an outlet for that. I don't know, that angst, that, you know, the image behind me is from the Shawshank Redemption. The guy obviously has his moment at the end of the difficult period in his life. And I honestly think that us in the crypto space, we've been through a rough few years. You know, if you'd invested at the Pico top of 2021 and held on, which many people didn't, you at best broken even, right? So now is kind of the time where people are starting to feel a bit vindicated. And I think that like the Peanut meme kind of encapsulates that zeitgeist. You know, that's why I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I like it because it's a squirrel, but like I get why you like it. I mean that makes sense, bro. But like it's also just like a squirrel that got murdered by the Democrats. So I mean that's just kind of
yeah. But when the squirrel gets murdered by the Democrats, what's going through your mind when you click buy is what I just articulated. Even though he's, you know, on the surface of it, it's a cute squirrel. I think we're talking about two different layers of the very same onion, Avi. That's my point.
I agree. I'm trying to find the address for this thing so I can just go eat some Peanut. I feel like it's big enough that I can talk.
You know what? This is a live stream. We don't have to be super structured. I'm gonna buy some fucking Peanut right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy some Peanut.
Give me that Peanut.
No, you fucking give me that Peanut.
Give me the Peanut.
That's what I'm talking about. Actually, I gotta go to dinner in like 5 minutes. I forgot about that.
Dinner, meaning you have to move more funds on chain to buy more Peanut. Okay, well, have a nice dinner wherever you are. I know what you're going to be doing.
I'm in Puerto Rico because I own. Well, anyway, I have property here, and it's like really difficult to manage if you're not here every once in a while. So. Like for example, I'm trying to rent this place out, and the showers don't have hot water, so I'm trying to figure that out so that when I rent it to somebody, they don't call me in 3 weeks and tell me that there's no hot water. Anyway, not crypto, not your problem. But
sounds like you need to sell some of that Geeko and get a guy. Like you need a guy. If you have real estate, you need a guy.
I do. That's the issue.
Oh,
but like.
You're getting taken. Okay, fair enough.
No. Like I wish you experienced what I'll give you. Like the issue with Puerto Rico is I'll end with a story for you. So like 3 years ago, because I used to live here, I don't live here anymore. I was getting a generator installed for the house, and so I call up the generator company and I say, hey, I need this specification of generator. Can you install it in the house? And can you install it here? I picked out an area for you. And so it's all good. They come over, they look, they're like, yep, we have it. Give me 6 weeks. I'll install it. No problem. Done. So 5 weeks later, I decide, because it's like a week before. So I call them up and I say, hey, so you guys ready? In a week, you're going to go install that generator? And they go, oh, that generator that you already paid for that is supposed to be installed there. Yeah, we don't have that anymore because we installed it somewhere else, and that was our last one. And I'm like, wait a second. The generator that I paid for, that you said that you were going to install, that you said like you sodded me for, it's no longer there, and you don't have any other generators on the entire island. And the guy goes, yeah, sorry, that supplier is out. And so I asked a very simple question. I said, do you have any other suppliers? And the guy goes, oh yeah, I do. Hangs up, calls me back in 15 minutes and says, oh, we found a generator from other supplier.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for suggesting it. Listen,
why did I have to suggest to him to call another supplier?
If it makes you feel any better, Avi, I've experienced the exact same story as you for my place in LA, except replace the word generator with fence, or iron gate or metal, aluminum, steel gate, whatever it is. And the end of my story is sad because the guy didn't end up finding another source of metal. He just disappeared into the ether. So may I humbly suggest paying half now, half later the next time you
yeah, that's better.
Well, us traders, we're so transactional. Like we're used to stuff happening quick, right? Like we don't like to, we don't want to like haggle with people, but that's how the world works outside of crypto.
Just FYI, for anyone, I think people are talking about this, if there's no cap gains tax in Puerto Rico, blah, 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 this, good tax benefits. I lived here for 3.5 years, almost 4 years. I loved Puerto Rico. I loved being a citizen. Obviously saved a ton of money, but I ultimately had to make a hard choice to move back to New York just because my philosophy is now just make more money.
Make more money.
Like just make more money. Like if you're moving somewhere to save on taxes, don't just make more money.
I'm all about a tax move for short period, like small periods of your life, but just like permanently relocating yourself to a haven if you don't want to be there seems weird.
I think that's a better way of saying it, is like, just there's no reason to move somewhere unless you like really have a strong view that the next year, 2, 3, 4 years of your life you're going to make like a ridiculous amount of money. Otherwise, just live where it makes you happy.
Yeah, where makes you happy, Avi?
It's a good question. Honestly, I do love PR. I'm not gonna lie. Now more than I did before, because I got like into water sports and whatnot, and started like off-roading, which is really fun.
What's your, like an ATV, or do you just use your like a four-wheeler? Like
I have a Bronco. Super fun.
That's awesome. I love the Bronco.
Ouch. What's this? Hold on 1 second. Dude, Peanut's ripping ever since we mentioned it.
Do we count as micro influencers? None of this is financial advice. We don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about a friggin' peanut coin. Don't listen.
I don't know if I can sell Geeko for this. Geeko looks like it's about to rip. No, but don't.
I have FOMO. I'm not gonna buy that one. I'm not gonna buy that one.
Come back in. Come back. It's a good cat. It's a very good cat.
It's ASCII art. It's like little text art, but it's a cat.
It's like
the Hello Kitty. Have you been to Japan? Have you been to the one of the maid cafes? Kind of reminds me of that. Anyway.
Okay. Anyway, I got to roll. Love you, Jonah.
Love you, buddy. Congrats on surviving this. Not financial advice. Stay safe, you all, and do your own research. Good talking to you, Avi.
Bye.
Later.